The Salt Lake Institute of Genealogy will celebrate its silver anniversary in January 2020. Elevate your genealogical education to new heights. At SLIG, you will learn from the field's top professionals, obtain in-depth instruction, network with respected experts, consult with successful researchers, and research at the Family History Library. Registration opens July 13, 2019 at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We've asked the course coordinator to tell us a little bit about the course to help you decide if it is the right fit for you. Paul Woodbury is the course coordinator for Introduction to Genetic Genealogy. Keep watching to learn more about his background and the course.
My name is Paul Woodbury, and I am a DNA team lead at Legacy Tree Genealogists. And I'm really excited to be coordinating a course on DNA at SLIG this coming year.
How long have you been working on genealogy, and how did you become interested in it?
I've been working on genealogy since I was 8 years old. My grandparents gave all of their grandchildren, all 35 of them, family history binders for Christmas, and I was the only one that bit. So I fell in love with family history from a very young age. When I was a teenager, I remember seeing a special on television about, it was African American Lives with Henry Louis Gates Jr. And I remember seeing how they were using traditional document evidence and research techniques along with DNA to tell the stories of the family history and the ancestors of these African American celebrities. And I remember seeing that and thinking, wow, this is fascinating. I want to do that. So that's what I'm doing. And I have loved being involved with that. I attended Brigham Young University, where I studied genetics with a minor in family history, always with the intention of becoming a genetic genealogist. And I am really happy to be able to work in this field to help people discover things about their own family histories every day in relation to using document evidence along with DNA evidence to really make fantastic discoveries.
Have you had any prior SLIG experience?
I first attended SLIG as a teaching assistant for Angie Bush when she gave a course on DNA analysis and evidence. Following year, I taught as part of C.C. Moore's DNA boot camp. The year after that, I participated in it was DNA and the Genealogical Proof Standard with Karen Stanberry. And last year was the first year that we offered an introduction to genetic genealogy, which I coordinated last year as well.
What course will you be coordinating?
This year, I will be coordinating the course for Introduction to Genetic Genealogy, and this is a repeat course from last year. I'm really excited to bring back a lot of the same speakers, a lot of the same ideas, and we've come back with a new and improved set of lineup and set of instructors and courses to really help you as you are exploring genetic genealogy and perhaps just getting involved in that field.
Please tell us about the course and the main topics that will be covered.
Our course is designed for those that have no experience with DNA, but maybe have a strong foundation in traditional genealogical research methods. It's also designed for those that have maybe started using DNA but have always felt a little bit uncomfortable or inadequate or unable to fully grasp DNA and incorporate it into their research. Even for those that have some experience with DNA and feel a little bit comfortable, this course is a fantastic way to solidify those foundational research skills with DNA analysis and to make sure that you are set up for success in the future as you move on to more advanced genetic genealogy methodologies and approaches. In the course, we're going to focus first on the basics of DNA inheritance, how you can apply it to specific research problems, create DNA testing plans and DNA research plans. We're going to talk a little bit about the biological foundations of why this is all possible. The next day, we'll talk about some of the best practices, how to incorporate DNA evidence as part of genealogical proof, ethical considerations as you're using genetic evidence, and including how to utilize DNA evidence and some of the considerations there. On Wednesday, we'll look at digging into the actual analysis of DNA test results, including why DNA, mitochondrial DNA, and autosomal DNA analysis, and we'll look through some case studies. On Thursday, we'll explore all of the tools available from the various companies and third-party tools to help you in that analysis. And then on Friday, we will look at what genetic genealogy actually looks like in practice. We'll do some case studies on our own. We'll explore some of the ways that genetic evidence intersects with document evidence and how we use genetic evidence and document evidence for genetic genealogy research. And we'll explore some of the ways that we actually use genetic genealogy in real-world research problems. So that's an overview of the week, and found that it is very helpful in taking this approach to be able to see the full range of what we use in genetic genealogy, but also put it into the context of how we are able to prioritize those different approaches, those different methodologies, to be most effective in our research strategies.
Who would benefit the most from this course?
This course is designed for those who perhaps haven't had any experience with genetic genealogy and they're interested in learning more about how to use DNA evidence as part of their results. Maybe they've taken a DNA test, but they haven't really dug into those results or figured out how to use it for their family history research. On the other hand, this course can be really helpful for individuals who have started in that process and have felt a little bit overwhelmed, or have not really felt comfortable in applying those concepts, that DNA evidence, to their own family history questions. Even for those that have a little bit more experience with DNA evidence, this course will provide a strong foundation in the necessary research skills to make sure that you've got a really strong basis on which to build for future research and growth in advanced genetic genealogy methodologies. This course really is focused on mastering the basics of genetic genealogy analysis.
What basic knowledge should students have before taking the course?
Before taking this course, students should have some familiarity with basic research methodologies in traditional research contexts. So you should have some family history experience in just researching your own family history or that of others in using document evidence. A lot of people, this last year when we first introduced the course, were a little bit nervous, and they said, what do I need to know? What do I need to have experience with in relation to DNA? And really, this is an introduction to genetic genealogy. We expect that you're coming in with very little experience with genetic genealogy. So really, just the basic knowledge that you should have is experience in family history research in a traditional context. The other prerequisite that you might want to consider is just taking a DNA test for yourself, or arranging for a family member to take a DNA test so that you can use that as you were exploring these concepts over the course of the week.
What should students expect to learn by the end of the course?
By the end of this course, students should expect to learn how to apply genetic inheritance patterns within the context of research problems, whether that be identifying individuals to invite to test as part of a targeted testing plan, whether that be evaluating the results of a DNA test to better understand and evaluate the chances of successful resolution of a research question. Students will also be able to understand and apply these inheritance patterns to the analysis of the results and be able to incorporate that as part of traditional genealogical research. They'll be able to look at results, say, what does this mean? And then translate that into information that they can share with their family members and use to draw genealogical conclusions and obtain genealogical proof. Students will be able to use tools provided by the various testing companies in order to analyze their test results, and they'll also be able to incorporate that with document evidence. So really, we're mastering the basics of how to apply genetic inheritance, how to interpret the results, how to use the tools available for additional analysis, and how to organize, how to collaborate, and how to do so effectively, efficiently, and ethically.
What is an interesting teaser from the course?
So one interesting teaser from the course is so on the first day, we're going to start by talking about some of the biological basics of the underlying, principles that underpin genetic genealogy as a field. And this is really exciting to me because I have a background in genetics, so it's really fascinating to me to see how we can use genetics to make discoveries regarding our family history. In the first day, we're going to talk about the journey of your DNA sample. How does it happen that I take I spit into a tube and suddenly I get an ethnicity estimate and a match of genetic cousins of people that I'm related to? That is a pretty amazing process. And so looking at the biological components of what happens when you spit into that tube, when you seal it, what are the chemicals that result in the isolation of that DNA and the replication of that DNA so that they can actually analyze it? What are the technologies that they're using in order to get from your spit to your screen?
We hope you enjoyed learning about the SLIG Introduction to Genetic Genealogy course. Registration for SLIG courses opens July 13th, 2019. Check out the website slig.ugagenealogy.org for more information.